I did a video on basically when God is calling you deeper or to a new level with him. One of the things that I did in this video, I talked about how, when God is calling you deeper and your flesh doesn't want to commit to God in the way that God's spirit is longing for inside of you. And how literally the main common theme, and I'm still seeing this more and more, the problem that people run into is when God begins to ask for more and our flesh doesn't want to give it to him, we naturally just push away. I did a video on that, and whoever didn't watch it, I would definitely advise you to watch it. But something that I did not add was we get into this place where literally maybe we were in a storm, maybe we were going through something really serious, and it caused us to be in a position of worship at a magnitude or at a rate that we never did before. Oftentimes, we show God that we can go deeper than what we say. You know what I'm saying? When we're desperate and we're in a storm, we fasting, we praying, we don't never miss a service. We on our knees, and we're at a rate where it's like, okay. And then literally, usually what happens is right after that season or that storm is over, the sun starts shining, and unfortunately, not that we become complacent, but we just become lackadaisical in our prayer life. We don't pray as hard as we used to when the storm was happening. We're not fasting as much because, it doesn't seem like anything's wrong right now. You know what I'm saying? So we start to fall back into our, kind of more chill space in a sense when it comes to our relationship with God. And what happens is usually when you come out of that type of season where it's caused you to go to a different level of intimacy with God, he expects you to stay at that level. And what I find is when God says again he wants more, or he wants more of what you just gave him, again, because our flesh never wanted to go that deep with God or never intended for that level of intimacy with God, not that type of commitment to God, or our flesh is just uncomfortable with that type of commitment. It's easy when you're in a storm, but when the sun is shining, that's where you really can see, am I really focused on intimacy with God? And it's very important. But one of the things I want to share about that, to really make that make sense on how you can kind of show God something, and that's what he begins to expect after. Like years ago, there was this young lady, and I remember we were talking, and I only saw her when we were doing work. I only saw her when we were like doing some type of business or some type of we were being productive. We were getting things done. And I saw her. She was dressed well, dressed nice, very pretty young lady, very attractive and all that. Liked the girl and all that. But it was one day where I had FaceTimed her. And when I FaceTimed her, she had her hair tied up, no makeup on, had this little cute sweater on. And I was like, wow, like I've never seen this version of you. And something that she didn't know about me was I love the hair tied, chilling with no makeup on, no pun intended. Just that cozy look. I love when a girl can do that. I call that effortless beauty, when you can effortlessly be beautiful in your own space. And I just literally said like, yo, like I never seen this side of you, and I never knew, this was a reality in a sense, quote unquote. And at that time, I literally was like, I want to call you more when you're like this, because it's cute. Like I really like this version of you. So it was one of the things where, because I saw something I never knew was there, that I began to really want more of. And that went back to, again, what God was just dealing with me and showing me, like, he sees a side of us, and we show him a side that he's longing for and desires. And once he sees it, he begins to identify that right there. I want more of that. And he can't identify it until we, in a sense, show him. We may know God wants more, but we don't know what more looks like until we really give it to him. Every time I've been in a season where I had to press in, I've literally heard God say, son, I want that to be consistent now. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, for that young lady, I know it's a funny example, but it says that young lady was like, wow, like, I love that version of her. Like, I'm going to call her when she's in that mode, because I love that version of her. And I never desired it, because I didn't know it was there. And I didn't know that she had that in her, in a sense. But I just wanted to share that. I think that's so crucial. Really, two more things about that part that I never got to add. When you're with someone in a relationship, right? Let's say y'all first met, y'all only went on car rides. Like, that's really dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cute at first because y'all like each other. It's dope. But eventually, the girl's gonna say, hey, can we do something different? And it's not an insult to the guy, nor is it she's saying that she doesn't rock with the guy or want to spend more time with the guy. No, she's saying, let's just switch things up. You know what I'm saying? And when you switch things up, that gives room for new levels of intimacy, and to see new things, to hear new things, to witness new things, to experience new things, all in that quality time. And I think that literally gives birth to intimacy, and it keeps things not just spontaneous but healthy. And I think that oftentimes in our walk with God, we let things become a routine, and we try to meet God where we last left off all the time, or last time God met us somewhere, we're like, oh, we gotta go back to that place. And, you know, oftentimes when we get to a place when our relationship becomes stale or dry, it's probably safe to say that it's time to switch things up. Maybe you've been praying the same way, maybe you've been seeking or reading or studying the same way, and it just means switch things up, you know what I'm saying? And I think that a lot of people get stuck there, and if they would just switch things up and allow God to even lead them on how to switch things up, they will see a healthy, spontaneous, and deeper intimacy come out of that. And I think that's so important. You say you meet a girl in church and it's like, you know, it's dope, I see you, you know what I'm saying, like we know each other, but usually it's when a lot of people are around. It's like, oh, like, you know, getting to know each other more, going to a deeper level of intimacy is saying, hey, like, what's your number? Like, I want to talk to you outside of this environment. You know what I'm saying? Like where we can be one-on-one to God. And like, he's like, listen, you know, I met you in the sanctuary, right? And now I want to meet you at home. I want to be alone with you. I want to just be me and you. You know what I'm saying? Like, sanctuary is great, but I don't want to just us to meet each other here. And that's the same thing with a relationship. It's like, and one-on-one gives birth to so much deeper conversations, vulnerability, transparency, honesty, authenticity, and that is intimacy. If our relationship begins to seem stale, it may be because we need to switch something up, and God is asking for more, and we don't want to give it to him. We have to be willing and understand that God is everything we want, and when we give ourselves to God, we experience everything.